Main. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Doesn't matter what time it is. Just know today is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Why? Man, because as always, God is good. He's good all the time. Duh. I'm gonna try to make this live as quick as I can because I'm in my renovations clothing. Okay, this is my renovations hoodie and sweats, and I was supposed to go to the gym today, but I had to rearrange some things because I haven't done this video yet. And then, as y'all see, I'm mad late. I apologize about that, y'all. I just had a slow start, man. A slow start. I've been running errands all morning. Today was supposed to be my day. I was supposed to, the Lord wakes me up this morning, open these beautiful bright eyes. I was supposed to start renovations on the house. And then after I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I like this as a stopping point, I was supposed to then do this live for y'all. Oh my gosh. And then go to the gym. But things got sidetracked. I ended up studying for the GRE, y'all. I am going back to school. Lord's will next year. So I'm getting that going, starting up that process and everything. So to God be the glory on that. I'm just been running errands, like I said, and I'm starting everything late. When I finish this, I'm gonna go start the renovations on my house, and then hopefully I can get to the gym before my wife gets off of work, because I don't like doing that to her. You know what I'm saying? I try to go to the gym, get it out of the way while she's at work, so when she gets off, we can spend all that lovey-dovey time. You know what I'm saying? But man, it's a hot mess over here. My camera's a little blurry. I forgot how to adjust it. So, Lord's will, hopefully the next time I get going, this will be all fixed up. Y'all, because it's a hot mess over here. A hot mess. All right. But the whole purpose of y'all being here, y'all see from the title, exploitation and beef in the motherfucking basketball community within the hooping realm or the YouTube realm. Where to begin? Well, I guess, let's see. I took some notes here because I knew that I was going to be all running and being all discombobulated and whatnot. So I had to get things written down on my notes. Things to discuss. All right. I just got a couple of things. Like I said, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to eat. I still want to go to the gym. But anyways, let's go. We'll talk about the little beef that's taking place between Davo and Invisible. It seemed to have resolved, It seemed to have resolved. It seemed to have been resolved. And that was with I think it's the backcourt connections, niggas. I forget. But I know the dude's name is D-Lam and Brother Teague. I forget I think it's Marcus. Don't kill me if I get your motherfucking name wrong, man, because some of y'all are sensitive out here, especially with females involved in the space. Y'all be like, oh, my gosh. The female, you're not supposed to be, messing up, roasting us and whatnot. You're supposed to coddle us, hug my ego and stuff. I ain't your mom, but I ain't trying to intentionally offend either. So we'll start with this little beef. I ain't got nothing to say on the beef. For me, it's more of like the idea of banning people when it comes to your content, okay? Where do I start? I don't want to really bore everybody with legal jargon, but this is the stuff that y'all need to know, because especially when egos get provoked and pride get in the way and y'all don't resist Satan, so he can flee, y'all niggas end up talking about lawsuits. And I just want to save y'all some money if you end up potentially considering suing someone, okay? Many of y'all, myself included, even with such small following, according to legal letter law, right? You could look it up as it pertains to copyrights and whatnot, but a public figure, and I actually have a book on it that can show you, because I don't like to make claims and conclusions and don't, have the support to to back it. But the thing is that we are considered public figures, right? You put your face out there in the public realm, you trying to become a personality, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it don't matter. You a public figure by law, legal stature law, right? Things change for you because a lot of y'all love to throw around the term slander. And slander applies to your average Joe, right? Which some of y'all mamas, you know, your sisters, because some of y'all got family members that's not really trying to be no public figure. They not trying to get blown up in the scene of anything. They're not trying to create their own communities and all this other stuff. They are just regular people with a social media profile. So if somebody was to come and say some off the wall stuff about them, you know, especially just to antagonize, you know, evoke feelings that aren't so good, you know what I'm saying? And it's intended to, like, whether it's true or not, which they probably know that it's not true or have some inclination to it not being true, but they just say it anyways just to, you know, hurt you. Them people, regular folk, could sue for slander. You public figure wanting to pursue type folk, you people that want to create your own communities and have your own stands that you can send out to harass people on social media. You niggas that want to be in the public limelight, you at some point want to become this celebrity. You know, this is what you're moving towards, whether you have 5,000 followers, 400 followers, 10,000, 100,000, a million. You are a public figure. So slander is not something that you can sue for. It's libel. And libel is a little funky because slander, they have different legal requirements in a sense of, with libel, you damn near got to prove that the person knew what they said about you was false. Whereas slander is just like, you just said some untrue things. You trying to get under their feelings. Maybe you think it's, you know it's not true, but you try. They could do that. You libel. Libel is a lot harder to sue for, which is why you don't see a bunch of celebrities suing for libel. And if they do, not only do they got a lot of money to waste, but they have as concrete of a case as they could potentially get, okay? Which basically means they feel that they have an airtight narrative that they can convince a judge or a jury. Doesn't matter, okay? So celebrities, public figures, you niggas can only sue for libel, which is a lot harder to do. Regular folk can sue for slander, which is a lot easier to do. And I will show y'all, you know, just for educational purposes, because I love to show you, you know. We'll look it up, libel Cornell, and you'll get the law, the legal definition for it. Because Cornell Law School, yeah, it's a school I would have loved to go to, but Lord's will, it'll probably be the University of Buffalo. So libel is a method of defamation expressed by print, writing, pictures, signs, effigies, communication embodied in physical form that is injurious to a person's reputation, exposes a person to public hatred, contempt, or ridicule, or injures a person in their business or profession. Now, you can come back to this later. I'm going to include these little links down below so y'all could come and see into this. They include all types of cases and stuff, but the part that I wanted to point out is that in the New York Times, Covey Sullivan, and this is what I remember learning in school. This is why I am telling y'all, I'm trying to help you. You can't sue for slander, but you can sue for libel. But it's hard. In New York Times, Covey Sullivan, the court held that the proof of actual malice is required for an award of damages in an action for libel involving public officials or matters of public concern. I'll finish read this little paragraph just for the educational purposes, like I said, the court reasoned that speech related to matters of public concern is at the heart of the protections guaranteed by the First Amendment and outweighs the state's interest in compensating individuals for damage to their reputations. This actual malice test created a national judicial standard for whether speech qualifies as libel. Now, like I said, there's several other cases it goes into like breaking this down for you, but at the end of the day, libel is what motherfucking celebrities, public officials, government officials utilize to sue. But like I said, you have to show proof of actual malice. That's why it's so motherfucking hard to prove. Where slander is not that difficult, but it also applies to the average Joe. Defamation, slander is defamation that injures a third party reputation. The tort of defamation includes both libel, written statements, and slander, spoken statements. State common law and statutory law governs defamation actions, and each state varies in their standards for defamation and potential damages by print. You see what I'm saying? But slander, the thing is, people can sue for defamation. It just won't be slander for public officials and all that stuff. That's the whole point I wanted you to understand. And then if you need anything else other than that, I can give you this book that I have, right? So I had took this communications class, and I feel like everybody should have access to this book, especially if they call themselves trying to be in the public limelight, right? But it's this, I took this this communications class, and we were tasked to read this book. It's called The Law of Journalism and Mass Communication. Now, this has information about copyright, libel, pretty much anything pertaining to virtual stuff, prints, artistry, what they call it. Lord, I'm drawing blanks at the moment. It'll come to me. But this book is good. It's called The Law of Journalism and Mass Communication. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, actually, let me show you the page. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, so you can see what the book looked like. My bad, y'all. The Law of Journalism and Mass Communication. The author is by Susan Dente Ross, Amy Reynolds, Robert Traeger. Now this thing, I love it because I could just type in copyright. I actually have a physical copy as well because I'm a nerd like that, and I just love books. But copyright, because the reason why I want to talk about this is because this whole Devo, BL or Ball is Life, and all these other platforms, even Dev in the Lab done it to me some years back where they copyrighted their content, and it's because I was reacting to it. And the thing is that you can't censor it. You can't copyright it if it's done legally, if it's handled legally. Intellectual property was the word that I was thinking of earlier. But let's see. Copyrights. When can you copyright? It showed you when it's for like educational purpose, copyright. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I'm over here typing in copyright. I should have had this up on my motherfucking screen so y'all could see it with me. But this is the motherfucking law. The page, man. How the Supreme Court reviews laws affecting First Amendment rights, which includes copyrights. And you can just scroll through here, right? And scroll and scroll. But it like gives you the definition of everything. It tells you what stuff is, what is considered protected by copyrights and what's not. And the thing is that when it comes to like parody, right, which is comical, comedial, or comedic work, people can take your content, whether it's written, it's video, audio, it don't matter. They can take all that and they can use it, whether they're making jokes about it, whether they're mother freaking being hella critical, even if it hurts your feelings and it's like, damn, these niggas insulting me. You can't just copyright them and then be like, I banned you from using my stuff. I mean, you can, but the thing is that people can fight it. Like, people see that copyright claim, and because they're ignorant, they just assume like, oh my gosh, I can't use their content. Yeah, you can. It gives you the option to appeal the claim that has been put on your stuff. And then it gives you a reason to explain yourself, to provide support and evidence. And as long as you sound like you know what you're talking about, they will, and when I say they, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform it is, will allow you to utilize that content that so-and-so said that you are banned from using. Sometimes it takes a few days because their little team is slow. But at the end of the day, unless you clickbaity, clout chasey, that's the only way it'll really affect you. But if you are like legitimate and genuine in what you do, it don't matter if niggas put a whole 30-day hold on your stuff. You gonna fight it for them whole 30 days and then release it. That's what I be doing. Baller's Life done put a copyright claim on me. Devin the Lab done put a claim on me in like 2019, 2020. And I just appealed them. You know what I'm saying? Who else put a copyright claim on me? Joe Budden. I just be appealing them because at the end of the day, there are exemptions to copyright, which parody is like comedy. If people making fun of your stuff, if they're being critical, if they're using it for educational purposes, there are exceptions to the rules. You see what I'm saying? And I encourage you people who call yourself wanting to be content creators and people in the public light, especially you sensitive sand in the vagina having niggas, where people can't even be critical of you because you think you above reproach and you ready to mother freaking ban, block, and all types of wild stuff, and then you whining about suing people because you ain't like what was said and by whom, because it's usually not the message. It's usually the messenger that be driving folks crazy. So I encourage you niggas to get educated so you don't look like a retard out here. I'm banning you from using, from accessing my stuff or reacting to my stuff. And then whole time niggas fight it. And then you sitting here dumbfounded. Like, why is YouTube still letting my stuff? Yeah, because they're covered by the First Amendment. It's an exception. Parodies, educational purposes. There's other exceptions. That's why I encourage you niggas to get a hold of this motherfreaking book. The Law of Communication, I think that's what we called it. The Law of Journalism and Mass Communication. The Law of Journalism and Mass Communication. Because, you niggas, you weirdos, right? We got, I really don't care too much to get into the beef. I think it all boils down to hypocrisy. This is why I say, like, when it comes down to it, all have sinned and fell short of God's glory. Every single one of us niggas, we motherfucking chastise people, ridicule people, ban people, prohibit people, and all types of ostracizing tactics. And we do all this weird stuff towards people for doing things and saying things that we ourselves do and say. And honestly, I think it's weak. It's weak. It's weak. Every single individual, to some degree, like, if you really look into the people that you follow, especially a lot of these niggas that have somewhat decent followings, but they seem to be like, they come off as proponents to, the First Amendment. You have every right to say how you feel, what you feel, until you say what you feel, how you feel about them. whether it's directed towards them or if it's stated indirectly. They end up with sand in their vagina and they get all uncomfortable and then they harass you for what seems like, an eternity, because now they done got sensitive, right? And now they pissy for something that you said, something that you did. And then it's like, nigga, if you think back on you, it's like the Bible says, ye without sin cast the first stone. You mad at me for something that you've done. Okay? I think it's weird that niggas be out here banning people. See, me, I don't ban people. I don't block people. And at least recently, I stopped it. I used to in the past. But then I started realizing, like, I treat my social media like how I do in real life. If you had the balls to approach me in real life and address me with your concern, your gripes, your complaints, maybe your admiration. If you had the balls to address me face to face, I can't undo nothing you say. I can't block you mid-talk. I can't mute you. I can't do none of that. So if I can't do it in real life, I was like, I'm going to treat my social media the same way. People going to say stuff that I don't like. People going to say stuff that probably feels like an insult to me. Hurts my feelings a little bit. But at the end of the day, just like me, they got a mouth and they have the ability to use it. Now, some of us fall into the depravity of our hearts, like the Bible says. And ain't no some. All of us do it. It's just some of us do it at other times when others maybe a little slower. But when we feed into the depravity of our hearts and we allow sin to do its thing, we just be out here wreaking havoc. I do it, okay? I motherfucking recently got, I was on Instagram, and this is what I say, I be talking junk. I be talking junk. And sometimes I use ad hominems and insults. And I don't be thinking nothing of it. Because, especially in the black community, I mean, roasting niggas is what we do, okay? You come out the womb getting roasted, you go to your dying day, roasted. Like, it's a part of life all the way to death, okay? And you either learn to roast back, or you learn to fight physically, because some of them be like, you know what? I can't take this. Or you just walk off. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with either option. Just know you will be held accountable by Jesus himself. That's between you and your Savior. Whichever you choose is what you choose. Because I tell you this, I've done chose all of them. All of them. And then I be held accountable for it. I get convicted for my stuff. But the thing is that I've learned, I be out here roasting niggas. I be talking heavy to niggas. Half the time, I don't even know these niggas. Now, if I seen them face to face, oh, baby, I could show you better than I could tell you. These lips don't hold. They don't motherfucking close just because you right there in my face. Like, if I got it, if it's there, it's coming out. Especially if the flesh is there. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, okay? When that weak flesh rise up, it's coming out. I usually be saying it's the first thing that pop up in my head. And I got in trouble for that. Not necessarily in trouble, but I got reprimanded by what I presume to be a mom of Keon. The boy looked funky. I'm not even going to lie to you. He looks funky. Every time I seen him, I just be like, damn, this boy always looked like he just rolled up out of bed and started playing basketball. Like he looks like those children, and I can't even say children because there's grown people that do it too. They just don't practice proper hygiene, and they look like it. There's even like really rich people out here. Let me show y'all this nigga. Because every woman thought he was the sexiest man on earth. Oh my gosh. What is his name? I think it's Keith something. I can't think of the dude's name. Keith Stanfield. This, bruh. Yes. This nigga. Everybody was like, he's so handsome. He's so handsome. But every time I see this dude, I just think funky. I don't think I've ever seen any television where he actually like got out the tub. And you know, like they be having them wash scenes. There's some actors when I see them in movies, showers and baths and stuff, it's just not implied. You have to put that scene in it because I'm just gonna think they're dirty. It's the same thing with that the main white boy that played Jax on Sons of Anarchy. They never showed this nigga shower, and he always is sweaty and dirty looking. Another one who always looks sweaty and dirty looking. And please don't take this as me jonesing Keon again. I'm not. I'm trying to justify my poor judgment at the time. Ain't nothing right in what I'm doing. It's just what I'm doing. The other nigga that I think is stink, Childish Gambino. Every time I see this dude, I just be like, Lord, what tub did he come out of? And it don't matter how well dressed he is. And this is how I perceived the young man, Keon. Like, some of his outfits be fresh, you know. And when I say fresh, they look clean, you know, from what I could see through, you know, virtual or whatnot. I'm assuming they name brand because the younger generation is really caught up in that stuff. But it's just, especially when he would put on these clean looking hoodies on this dirty, sweaty body right after a game. It's just be like, and it be so comfortable. Like, I personally just can't do that. When I go home, even when it's winter, I put my coat on over my sweatiness when I come out the gym. And you know what I do when I get home? Throw all my stuff in the washer because I got to wear that coat tomorrow. I'm not about to wear yesterday's sweat. But maybe it's just me, you know. So anyways, I said the little boy looked funky. His mom hopped in the comments. I think it's his mom. And she started going in on me. She said, you look like everything you've been through. And then she was like, what athlete are you? She was just going in. And I was like, no, this lady didn't. I was appalled. I was like, no, she didn't just come for me. Do you know I'm trying to live my life right, lady? But then I had to remember, like, damn, you went at this little boy. You opened up them doors. So you got to walk through it now. So I was like, all right. Then I had immediately two choices. It was like, T, you could just not respond and just let this lady have it because you was wrong. You typed out your first thought in them comment section when you should have kept it to yourself. Like your mama and your daddy used to always tell you, you ain't got nothing nice to say, keep it to yourself. So it's your fault. Leave it alone. You trying to live right by Jesus. You know, you can't get into heaven with all this flesh. Then before I know it, I was already typing back to the lady, going in on her. I was like, Lord. And then I sent it. And then read it back. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I should mother freaking delete it. I'm trying to live right, Jesus. Please, if you come right now, I'm probably going to hell. Like, forgive me, Jesus. I'm not laughing because this is serious matters. I'm just so uncomfortable because it's like I'm trying to live right, but I feel like I'm mother freaking schizophrenic over here because it's like my flesh is like, yeah, it's tugging me this way. And the spirit is just like, but you're trying to live right by Jesus. What are you doing? So I'm trying. But I went in on that lady. Then I battled with myself because then I was like, damn, T. You are one of the most loudest individuals on this earth who constantly says, give Satan back his pride. Give Satan back his pride. Message this lady and apologize. and you know, send blessings her way. I fought for hours because I'm like, no, bro, she came for me. Yeah, I came for the boy, and I think that's her son, but she came for me. She should have the lady look older than me. She should have been mature because I wasn't. She should have, I'm telling you, I was going back and forth. She should have been mature. And then I eventually sent that message because I was like, I justified it in my head, but she sent me 2 messages. So it's like I'm responding to the second one. And I apologized. I swallowed the pride. Outside looking in, probably look crazy as hell. But that's what sin does to you. have you out here looking crazy as hell. I can attest to it. Sin just opens the door to more sin. I'm telling you, every single thing, man. I'll be like, I just want to feed my little flesh real quick, feel good. You know? Get a little tantalization over there. And then as soon as I do it, the Holy Spirit just snatches me back up, man. And it's never pretty. Never pretty. But I want you to know, just in case you don't, the wages of sin is death. But the gifts of life is eternal. That's the Bible, man. That's the Bible. Try not to sin out here, y'all. We not perfect. I'm far from it. Far from perfect, man. I be roasting niggas every day. Roasting niggas every day. It happens. I just encourage people to not be hypocrites, you know. And to go back to it, what kind of like got me on this, like, I'm not going to be censoring people. I'm not going to ban people. Because you go on my YouTube, my Instagram, you can go on all my social media platforms. I still got a few people to unblock on my Facebook, but Facebook different. Facebook different. Because it got my family and stuff on there. So it's just like some of them people, I just be like, yeah, I'm saved. Give Satan back his pride. Facebook, I need some deliverance. But in all the other spaces, this is why I say hypocrite, man. You're looking at one. But anyways, at least with these other spaces, especially my YouTube, I be ended up with some crazy comments. But I've learned, posting my own stuff, that you have control of your comments. The comments allows you to turn them on and off and on. And then when you turn them on, you can even filter them out a little bit more. You can set them to where it's like on this basic mode where it allows comments, but YouTube gets to choose a little more harshly what comments to filter out. And then there's the on where it's like, now your comments is on. So if you got somebody in your comments like, you dirty stinking booty hoe, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. And the world going to see it. The world going to see it. So that's how I got my comments set. So if you see some wild stuff in my comments, it's because I believe in freedom of speech. I'm not an advocate for censorship, man. I'm just not. If you want to curse me out, if you want to call me a welfare queen, baby, when I tell you that some of the stuff that I have endured at the hands of virtual, well, these real life people, but these hands be typing into the virtual world and coming towards me into real life. When I tell you some of the stuff that these people done said to me, baby, I got a bunch of kids and a bunch of baby daddies that I don't even know of. I got an incarcerated daddy that I don't even know about. I'm a welfare queen, apparently. Now, you have power of life and death in your tongue, so I bind that in Jesus' name. Definitely not. Okay. However, this is what I've been called. I've even been called a black hole by one of my white cousins. Yes. I've been called some things. But I still leave people the room to say what they want to say. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to do Jesus' job. I'm not censoring you. I'm not filtering out none of your stuff. He already knows it in your heart anyways. It's there. So it's coming out. So he going to take care of it. I'm going to give you that ability to put it out there. You want to come back and apologize later? That's fine. Because I be doing that sometimes. If you don't, baby, that's fine too. It is what it is. You will be held accountable. Now, if I respond to you out of my flesh, you and me both will be standing before the Most High God for our actions. But at the end of the day, you got that. However, for me, niggas been blocking and banning me. Even crybaby B. Ellis sitting here talking about how he banned by Davo. Nigga, you got me blocked for calling you donkey interchangeably with Eddie Murphy. Before he got the braces, I was calling him Eddie Murphy because y'all all know Eddie Murphy got braces. Now, just think about it. When you hear that man talk and you hear B. Ellis talk, they sound the same. When Eddie Murphy sound for Donkey on the Shrek. Sound just like B. Ellis. B. Ellis used to look like Eddie Murphy when he had, before he got the braces and whatnot. He had the gaps. His gaps almost resembled Eddie Murphy's a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I could just pull it out, Eddie Murphy. But this man looks like him, y'all. Gaps and all. Oop, wrong one. Look at that. They look alike, okay? You're not going to tell me them little chicklets don't look the same. B. Ellis got tiny teeth just like this buddy. B. Ellis had a little bit more gaps, though. Eddie Murphy's gap mostly was that front tooth, that front top teeth, But I seen the resemblance, and I used to call him Donkey interchangeably with Eddie Murphy. Amongst other things, because I was very critical at the same time of motherfucking TNC, the next chapter in Devontae Friga, where I'm not going to ride the coattails of Davo, and I take full accountability and responsibility for my own actions. I don't need no piggyback and none of that. I understand the analogy used by Davo when he talked about Scotty being like a slave master or being a slave master. But I used to be very critical of TNC under B. Ellis's platform because the nigga was so thirsty to be a part of them. And that was before they was booming. That's before they even had commentators. He was just like, please, come on, just please, let me be a commentator for you. He was begging. And this is when I was very critical because I've seen it. I've seen the inception of the 1v1 scene. I've seen the shifts. I've seen where niggas was biting off of each other. Everybody bit off of each other. However, Devontae Friga and TNC was not the first ones on this 1v1 scene. They are just like, it's just like corporate America. It's just like white America. That big money come in and then niggas act like, oh my goodness, these are the first people to do it. And now they start, doing a little jig for money. And then they start rewriting history because, they trying to get paid. Like Shibaldi. That nigga one take shotty. Oh my goodness. Reel me back in, Jesus. We gonna get to him. But that's how it is. The big money come in. And these niggas, they'll sit here and talk about, I'm a small business. Oh my goodness. The Matt nigga from Baller's Life claim, I'm a small business. Boy, you ain't no small business. Anybody who knows how to use Google could look into your business and see that it is at minimum a multi-million-dollar industry. The same thing with the next chapter. They even said themselves, Devontae Friga and Scotty, that they are currently a multi-million-dollar industry, aiming to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yet the largest payout to any player was more recently motherfucking between Moon and Cam, which are two of TNC's like main starters. Cam kind of comes from the Friga fam. Moon was the one that kind of got TNC into the 1v1 space because it was Moon getting into the 1v1 matchups at the end of their little 5v5 runs. So it makes sense that they paid them. But then it's like, you're a multi-million-dollar industry, but these athletes who are literally, every time they step out of there, there's wear and tear. You know what I'm saying? They run the risk of injuries on top of the fact that majority of these niggas, they're poor. Like, you not about to tell me nothing. Most of these niggas is poor. If they have health insurance, they're on their mothers. Okay? They're on their mothers. Might be on some Medicaid, which is even worse. I'm telling you. These niggas, insurance like Medicaid, it's almost like not having none. Most Medicaid holders, them niggas ain't be trying to go to the hospital either way. Niggas ain't got no dental. There's no jab at him. But it's like, Rob, even LP, if I'm not mistaken, Pep. All these niggas missing the molar in the back, missing side tooths, side teeth. Why is that? Because even with the most basic dental insurance, which is through Medicaid, the most that they will cover with your dental work is tooth removal. So that's why you got all these niggas walking around with a missing tooth. Because if they had a really bad cavity, these niggas ain't getting the cavity taken out, a root canal, a motherfucking filling, and they like, we'll take the tooth out. That's why you got all these side teeth missing niggas. And I'm not saying this to joke on poorness. I am saying this to bring y'all into reality. Like some of y'all, I don't know. Am I the only? I can't be. Give St. Becca's pride. Ain't no way I'm the only educated person amongst athletes. Ain't no way. I mean, if you want, we can motherfucking Google it. Let me get BLS off here. We can Google it. The population based on finances, like 90% of the population is it true? No damn duh. The census. I don't even like using the census, but I mean, it don't matter where you look. Over 90%. We ain't even got to look at the United States. If you want to make yourselves feel better, we can look at the world. Over 90% of the world population is poor, my nigga. So that ought to put it into perspective. When you start getting more micro, and even more smaller and smaller, you start to realize, like, damn, most of these niggas poor. You got degrees of poor. Yeah. Because you got some poor niggas who own a house. It's called debt to income ratio. I can't be the only one that know these things. Can't be. I don't believe it. So a lot of the people that get on these platforms are poor. These niggas ain't got nothing. And when I think it's crazy. Actually, why did I even do that? Look at this. This is what I wanted y'all to see. This is why I believe that the next chapter are they're exploiters. They exploit their players, which includes their board members. That Grayson, what did it say his last name is? Grayson White, I think his last name is. Grayson White. Devontae Friga. And Scotty, I know your last name. I was looking at your business documents not too long ago. It's drawing a blank right now. I even got that junk saved on my phone because I'll be searching. That's why I say it's a simple Google search. Niggas be ready to back niggas. And when that dude sat there, Scotty sat there talking about he himself made $1 million, then gave that silence and then tried to make it seem like, oh, I just gave that just to exaggerate, emphasize on the moment. No, nigga. You told the truth and tried to make it seem like it was a red herring. Hell no, nigga. I ain't stupid. But I think it's crazy. And this is one of the reasons why I believe that I was blocked by BLS. It's not just because of the fact that I was constantly calling the dude Donkey or Eddie Murphy, but it's also because I was very critical of the next chapter as well as Devontae Friga. And his page was up and booming. So they didn't, they're like little minions of these people. They will do everything in their power to, it's like Samuel L. Jackson's character on Django, you got that one coon nigga. Just hey, sir, hey, I got him, boss. Hey, I got you. I'll wrangle up the black people for you, boss. You got them people out here. But I wanted y'all to see this because there's a part here. I think it's coming up. Hold on. It looks different on my phone. But this is why I was critical of him. And then he, in this article, end up motherfucking supporting what I said. Oh, that's too far down. I'm not reading. Matter of fact, search, duh. performance. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. The prologue. To help pay the team. That model incentivized. Now, the model he's talking about is the business model. I guess we'll start at Weaver. This is going a little longer than I wanted to. I'm trying to go eat. All right, let me hurry up. Weaver was in the street ball content world long before TNC, starting out with working with Ball It's Life, doing content with their East Coast squad, where he met standout player Isaiah Hodge, a.k.a. Slim Reaper. They left Ball It's Life and started making their own street ball content with a group called The Wild Hunt. This is where Lamoon comes in. You hear me? Weaver would bring his Wild Hunt team to local parks and film 5-on-5 basketball videos. We had a bunch of guys who were characters, Weaver says. Slam dunkers, guys doing creative dribbling, big talkers. Everyone brought their own personality and energy. The 505 format helped draw big crowds, but it made it tough for Weaver to pay the players involved consistently. 5v5 seemed to have little demand. Or at least that's what's being portrayed. Let's continue. That's how I do in my reading chapter. Make sure y'all go check out all my little chapters that I've read. Blood at the beginning. Blood at the root. It's all in the videos. But it says, to help pay the team, we asked after the event if they wanted to run some one-on-ones with people at the park, he explains. When that video comes out, we'll post it as the next chapter. And whatever it generates will be how we pay you. So, your ability to earn is directly tied to your performance in the video. Your ability to earn. Your ability to earn. Not the degree of your earnings, but just the ability to earn is directly tied to your performance in the video. Let that sink in a little bit. All right, let's continue. That model incentivized players to talk trash, play flashy, and stand out, turning the games into even better content. They started featuring one of their players, Lamoon, in a one-on-one after every park run, running that man like a mule. Sounds very familiar. Slavery, is that you? Might be Davo. Hold on. They started featuring one of their players, Lamoon, in a one-on-one after every park run, challenging the best and bravest from the crowd. After a string of undefeated performances, Moon finally met his match in his former college hooper, Nazir Kaur, whose dominant showing made him a standout in the community. Interesting how that turned out. And then many people have said, and when I say many people, it's mostly the ignorant, that tried to put it on as if like the next chapter created Nazir Kaur. But it seems to me that Lamoon and Nazir Kaur created the next chapter. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. This is hilarious. All you got to do is just read. I'm telling you, whoever said that saying that they'll hide everything from you by putting it in a book, them niggas is a genius. All I got to do is put it in some text. You'll hide the truth from so many people. I just want to go back because when people were trying to make this, TNC is better, the next chapter is better, than so and so, and it's just like, bro, there may be different things that everybody that watches each platform that they take from that platform and they like, I like this about that platform. It is what it is. But I don't think it's a sense of like better. Because if it was up to me, better would be OTD. But to some people, TNC is better. And to some people, Ball is Life is better. So what does that tell us? Like everything else in life, it's subjective. But niggas be arguing as if any of this is concrete, factual. Oh, well, we could put our best players against your best players. How will we even measure that? We still have to come up with some criteria of measurement. But niggas don't know that they never take a statistics class. Now, it's not a jab, but it's evident. Some of y'all just talk because a mouth is on your face. I do it too sometimes. But we got to be aware of when it happens. So let's reread this one more time, because I want this to sink in when I tell y'all. Like, I understand what what Davo is talking about when he says that Scotty Weaver is analogous. He uses the analogy. I don't know why I'm like stutter stepping or something with my tongue right now, but the reason why I believe he used the analogy as a slave master with Scotty Weaver is because when you were really following them from the inception to now, that's exactly what it looked like. Like they was just exploiting their players. Niggas wasn't even getting paid. And then some of the bigger games like the Rob v. Nas even said that we couldn't even get it because the next chapter wanted him to sign a contract with them where he would be stuck with them for a while just to build some storyline. And it's like, what storyline do you need to build, nigga? It's already there. But because I do believe that Nasir is more of like, I don't want to say business savvy, but I guess he's more business savvy than he is an athlete. He really knows how to like market himself. He knows that he is valuable and he's not just throwing himself out there like a lot of these other players, which I could drop all types of names, but my favorite name to drop is Shadell. Because it's like the jig for the master, just so you could get a little, just so you could get a little privilege, so you could get a little something. They could pay you something, right? Nas, he was like, I'm going to build my own platform. I'm going to make myself valuable to these people. So it's not on this, like, in the sense of where, like, Brandon Us been pushing us, like, well, the next chapter owns these players. And a lot of people have been saying that it's almost like there's this ownership of the next chapter because they put these players on their platform and maybe had them there for a little bit, talking about they built these players. They didn't build nothing. These players came there because, to be honest, I've reached out to ample platforms, from big to small to big, from Hoop Dreams on up to TNC. And when I talked to Jeremy over there at TNC, he told me that the female realm is just, it's not valuable. It's not in high demand. Mr. Coach Midrange said it's not high, it's not value. It's not a valued game. It's not in high demand. And I believe that to be false. I think that's mostly bias driven. However, I also don't have a huge following. So I understand that the average person don't like taking a risk. You know what I'm saying? They don't like going out and taking risks. That even applies to motherfucking lawyers. This is why I tell niggas all the time. Like, people always talk about taking something to a lawyer, but the thing is, you'll get a million no's before you get a yes. Why? Because these lawyers, they're not taking on your case unless they absolutely got some clear-cut case. Okay, you basically had to do all the work for them, have it laid out for them to be like, okay, I got enough of what I can paint as evidence to push a narrative that I believe will be influential enough to get us a win. And that is how you get a lawyer. That is how you get employed in any sense, because niggas look on the outside. There's no logic put into any of this. There's no wisdom. It's far from it, actually. And these spaces are the exact same. Where I reached out to Hoop Dreams. Hoop Dreams was advertising like, hey, we just looking for a hooper, blah, blah, blah. I hit him up like, hey, I'm down. I'll do it. You know, as long as the dude is able, he's fine with matching up against a female. Then I'm told, you know, oh, well, we were looking for, you know, a male athlete, or we were looking for an athlete with this type of following. And then me being me, I'm direct as hell. So it's like, all right, nigga, well then put that next time, you know? Don't just be like, I'm looking for a hooper, and then that a hooper motherfucking contact you, and now it's like, but I'm looking for this type of hooper. Make that known in the beginning, okay? Make it out. So anyways, but it became evident you have to have some type of following for them to even look at you. And this is one of the things that Brandon Ellis has been pushing out there, a.k.a. Eddie Murphy, a.k.a. Donkey. And it's the sense of, and it's been what I've been telling niggas since the beginning, because I seen it with, the first person I seen it do it is Uncle Scoop. I kind of want to punch that nigga in the face, because I believe that was him hiding behind Street Stars platform and called me an NPC and all the backing that I've done for this nigga. But I see him in real life. I'll tell you, I got some hands for him. But anyways, the first person I've ever seen do this at all was motherfucking Uncle Scoop. This nigga was hopping from platform to platform, city to city, you know, location. And he was just posting on his platform. Street Stars was displaced. It was homeless. It didn't have no home as in its own channel. It was posted on Scoop's channel. It was like a blend of Scoop stuff and motherfucking Street Stars, you know. And then, because he also pushed his Separate Yourself brand, which I bought one of his first hoodies, you know what I'm saying? Which I still have to this day. I love the hoodie. But, and no, a nigga ain't a fan. Supporter. It's a difference. Only a fan of Jesus. I don't ride with none of you niggas. I got smoke for all of you. It's just a moment of time. You hear me? But anyways, so then he's the first person I've ever seen, you know, actually market himself, build himself from scratch, promote his own website, his own brand, build it from scratch. At the same time was promoting his own league. It just wasn't explicitly labeled as such. And then we started to see all these other people pop up, like the Devontae Freekas and the Scott Weavers, and then the motherfucking, the Isaiah, whatever his last name is. And then these niggas started implementing what they saw Scoob do and other platforms do. Because that's really how creativity works. You're inspired by something else that existed, that was created by somebody else. And then you create something, and then you just throw in your own razzle dazzle. It's creativity. If you think about it, nothing is authentic. But anyways, shout out to the book Big Magic. Y'all should read that. That book is amazing because it explains to you that ideas, they don't just come to one person. Where you got these weirdos out here that think I'm a genius, I'm peculiar because I'm the pioneer. I did it. I. Nigga, that same idea done shot over across like hundreds of other people's minds. You just one of the few that acted on it. We could probably find another nigga just like you with the same idea across the water. You just don't know because you stuck in your little box. All right? But anyways, so these platforms, they seek out people with motherfucking followings. Even something as small as Hoop Dreams. Nigga telling me he want niggas with platforms. So that has a following, that already has influence in some degree. That in itself should tell you, nigga, you valuable. Because if they soliciting your presence on their motherfucking platform, that means they want you, the product you bring, the services you bring. What the freak you gonna charge them? Honestly, I'm tired of seeing you niggas, especially the black ones. Y'all get on these motherfucking platforms and y'all, I don't even know how to describe it, but y'all just act like the most, it's just an honor to be here. Nigga, they should be honored to have you. They not just gonna put anybody up there. We got niggas like Hoop Dreams just got Carlos. Chris White, who I call Milk White, has been begging for a spot on TNC. Even recently was on Frigmas, still begging. No, good as well, he ain't in a 1v1 shape to 30. But still begging. Has he been given an opportunity? No. And that nigga, he can pull some views with his toxic ways and the trashy white boy persona, you know? But they still ain't get him on here. Why? They only get certain people on there. So I think it's clever when you got people who are already established, like Scoob, Nas, Zay, and all these others. That's like, you know what? I'll come on your platform, but I require an appearance fee. You should get paid to some degree. You should not be Shadell on Instagram crying a little before Thanksgiving, talking about, hey, I don't get paid nothing. I ain't got no contract with TNC. Y'all who trying to hoop, blah, 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 blah. He did the same thing Rob did. Niggas shouldn't be crying. And then you got people like Davo and Sandy Cheeks, a.k.a. Devin the Lab, who hops on here and drop little red herrings, you know, and they drop little, well, I heard a player that dealt with TNC are unhappy because of so-and-so. And then they leave people to motherfucking pick apart, which you ain't really got to pick apart nothing. You just got to look at y'all. Look at you holistically. That's it. Just look at you holistically. I remember when Draco was playing on y'all platform. Nigga was damn near dying of COVID. Just, he wasn't throwing up, but the nigga was, he was like hacking, you know. That man was dying. And Devontae Freaker straight up told him, like, bro, you better finish this game. I know that. You better finish this game. That man was dying with the flu, with COVID. I don't know what the freak he had, but he was dying. And Draco finished that game and he won. But the man couldn't even breathe. He was all like laid out on the floor afterwards, dead. We saw the same thing with two other players, Pat, for sure, just throwing up all on the motherfucking. But we see. To help pay the team, we asked after the event if they wanted to run some ones-on-ones with people at the park. When that video comes out, we'll post it. And whatever it generates is how we'll pay you. Your ability to earn is directly tied to your performance. So you sick, you get injured, you're done. To be honest, Burke is the first individual I have ever seen on that platform be compensated after an injury. Like most of them, I forget who was the last one I saw get injured. Was it Castro? Nah, he was on Frigmas. Bet you there was no coverage there either, though. And Friga has what? Multiple multi-million-dollar LLCs. But what compensation was given to Castro when he got injured? But if I get injured at LA Fitness, you best believe I don't care if I am playing basketball. Lawsuit. You better have all your ducks in a row. Because especially the LA Fitness where I regularly attend, them niggas don't ever, well, I won't say they don't ever, but they rarely ever clean that motherfucking basketball court. That thing be dusty as hell. You be slipping and sliding. I'm getting paid, baby, because you best believe I'm going to be taking pictures of everything. And the fact that, I mean, I don't know the behind the scenes, but I'm assuming there's no contract that really bounds any of these players unless they sign waivers, which would explain why a lot of these players claim to not to have a contract that bounds them to TNC, but makes them to where they are unfree to go elsewhere. I know it doesn't sound right, but the way that legal jargon can be panned out, baby, Trust, there's some raunchy, raggedy contracts out here. Y'all paid attention to the music industry. Them 360 deals, Devontae Freeman, them ain't no different. You just believe. And any of y'all ever worked a job long enough to see how things function? And I'm talking about like not the stuff that pertains to your duties, but how stuff work. And you like, damn, they do that here. All you got to do is just sit there and watch and see how stuff function. I've worked, I won't say a lie, like I worked like millions of jobs, but I worked quite a few. And the Marine Corps was the main one that like really opened my eyes because I was so young when I went into there. That's the one that stands out the most. But I even noticed it was the same thing pursuing my education. From my associates up to my master's degree, just paying attention to the dynamics. And when them niggas was trying to push me to get my PhD just to become a professor, to make tenure, and then I heard that all the hell that you, hell to the no, I'm not playing those games. I got out of the Marine Corps to avoid playing stupid games just to have a career. Hell to the no. I'm not sacrificing my ethics, my values, my morals, my body, my spirit, my mental for these raggedy businesses. But I'll tell you this, they all the same. They all encourage, we have an open door policy. You could come to us, but talking amongst each other, we don't want that. And why don't they want that? Because when you come together and you talk amongst each other, that's when the brainstorming starts happening. And then you start to see what other people done experience and people see what you experience. And then you get to see like, oh, well, I didn't get that, but I got this. And you got that, but I ain't. And then, so now you know what to ask for. That's why they try to keep you We don't want no unions. Which a union ain't nothing but it's like a lobby group. It's a lobbyist group for jobs, the labor force. You pay these niggas your fees and they like, all right, we'll bat for you. Make sure you don't get fired so easily. Why you think so many people sitting here encouraging y'all to create a union amongst the 1v1 space, or at least the basketball space as it is? Because right now, because there's no regulation, there's ample room for exploitation, which is happening. But you're not going to hear too many stories. You'll just see little temper tantrums pop up, like when Rob posted that thing on his Instagram. Like, who want to play once? I'm a free agent. But you've been bound by TNC since their inception. You get people like Shadell crying, talking about he ain't getting paid. He ain't got no contract. Who trying to play? He trying to make some money. He got bills to pay. I'm with you, brother. That nigga got kids to feed. I think he married. And even if he ain't, I mean, child support ain't cheap. You see what I'm saying? And you got niggas playing for free with all that wear and tear on their body. And then for your ability to earn, not even the degree of earnership, which means this means you not even earning without some performance. You see what I'm saying? And your ability to earn is directly tied to your performance. So what happens when you win, but you don't get that much traction because you're not a live person? Like you're like a Zay, you quiet, you know? You more of he comes off a bit subtle. What happens when you get wins like that, but, you know, you're not making a big old scene? most of his buckets is just straight downhill. He not really putting on no show. I mean, the most miraculous thing about Zay is the random floaters he be putting out. You be like, how the heck he get that up there and made it? But other than that, he's simple, and he wins majority of his games. He only lost one. He wins most of his games with simple movement. So how do you compensate somebody by that? Because their ability to earn is directly attached to their performance. It's crazy. So since your ability to earn is attached to your performance, it incentivizes players to talk trashy, play flashy, and stand out, which results the games being better content. So why do these niggas be so pressed when people be saying that the scene and the environments are fabricated? Like more recently, this little season that TNC is in now, in the beginning, Devontae pretty good, and Scotty kept trying to, they're things getting tough, I can sense it in the air. It's tension, things are different. Everybody's not friends today, Like, baby, you ain't gotta convince us. Like, we can sense tension if it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't you ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta coax us. You ain't gotta motherfucking push us into. It's like being at church when the spirit ain't moving because them pastors are hirelings. There's nothing coming from them, and now they want to, hey, clap your hands. Clap your hands. I said clap your hands, y'all. Clap your hands. Open up your mouth and say hallelujah. Say it. That was Devontae Freega. I apologize for being loud, y'all. But that was Devontae Freega them when they over here talking about, the game is tense, y'all. The atmosphere in here is tense. Is it? Because we can sense it, and it's dry, silent. You can hear a silent, not even a silent. You can hear one of them air farts. Like, it ain't even silent. It just come out like. Your ability to earn is directly tied to your performance. Their business model incentivizes players to talk trash, play flashy, and stand out, which turns the games into even better content. It's fabricated, man. Then niggas wonder why I be calling them stalemate. Hackneyed. Nigga, inauthentic. That's what y'all. You ain't gotta OTD, you ain't gotta fake the funk. Niggas is coming on that energy because they on that energy. And if they faking the funk, they faking the funk for themselves. They not faking the funk because it's encouraged and go pay. But anyways, let's see what my next talking point is. I should have been done with here. Bump, bump, bump. People saying things that they shouldn't. Banning censoring. We talked all about that. I'm a big proponent. You just got to take it for what it is. I mean, yeah, sometimes it hurts. Insults hurts, every now and then. Somebody come out the woodworks and they berate you. It hurts. But at the end of the day, like my mama says, if it ain't lined up to the Bible, it's a lie. And we don't believe lies, okay? If it's not aligned to what Jesus said, then it ain't the truth. It be hurting, but it ain't true. When my cousin, that white lady, called me a black hoe, I was like, damn, that hurt, cuz. But I'm like, it is what it is, because I'm far from a hoe. I'm black, not a hoe, though. But it hurt. So I get it. And to be honest, I actually withstood a slander space myself. In 2022, it was this little nigga whose name is evading me at the moment. Because God knows, he knows I was going to throw his name out there. That's why he's like, let me snatch it out her memory. If it come back, I'm going to say it. It probably won't, though, because I'm telling you, I think Jesus snatched his name out my memory. Anyways, this little nigga. Damn, I can't even think of the platform he was on. Jesus, put it back, sir, please. Come on, Jesus. All right. He won't even let me name the platform that they are. But they're a platform on YouTube. I don't know if they still prominent, but they had like about 200,000 subscribers in 2021, 22ish. And the little nigga got offended because I had told him, I said that he need to learn some hands-on skills, which I believe that hand-on skills are important for everybody to know, because what happens when you don't have access to the internet? Your whole motherfucking expertise revolves around the internet. So you need something. You need to know how to grow some produce. You know what I'm saying? Cut some log, nigga. You know, at least get some pieces for where you could start a fire. So I was just saying, like, he needed to have some hands-on skills. He took offense. Motherfucking, he was like, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a slander space. Now, I was on Twitter. So Twitter had these audible spaces that they held. So it wasn't no visual, nothing. It was just voices. And you see a little head because it's their Twitter. And the host can bring on speakers. They can kick speakers off. They can mute you, all types of wild stuff, right? They can kick you out they space, ban you, all types of wild stuff. That's why I say I went through this censoring and all that bullcrap before. And this nigga, he literally sat there. He kicked me out of the speakers section and held a slander space. And I kid you not, 2 individuals that had me blocked already unblocked me because we was following the same little scrawny, big-headed nigga. Unblocked me just to join that slander space. Hopped up in the speaker section and dragged me a new one. I spent like the first 10, maybe 15 minutes requesting to speak, because I'm like, how dare you niggas just kick me off? Like, you don't even give me a chance to defend myself. What the freak you think this is? So I'm all talking junk in the comments like, let me back up there, nigga. Like, I ain't running from y'all. I'm talking. He finally hit. Like, T, they ain't about to let you up there. They don't want you to defend yourself. And even if they did let you up there, they probably going to kick you out, mute you, all types of weird stuff. They ain't trying to hear nothing you have to say. They just want to drag you. And I kid you not, these niggas unblocked me just to hop in that space and just say some wild stuff about me. And then when the space ended, and I literally showed them niggas, now I could sue y'all for slander, because back then I was a regular person. I wasn't trying to be no public figure, no nothing like that. I still kind of ain't, but based on the legality, you know, I guess I am, because I'm always posting stuff in public. So it is what it is. But I actually linked up with a lawyer, was about to slam these niggas for a lawsuit, because I was like, oh yeah, y'all got over 100,000 subscribers. These niggas had like 200,000 subscribers on their YouTube. They were monetized. They were making money through the little, when they go live and the people send them little cash and all that. Niggas had little play money. And so I was like, okay, so since you niggas want to do that, turned it up. Now when I turned it up, now niggas want to, you know, kind of apologize. The people that unblocked me just to hop in that slander space went back to block me. Now everybody want to go in hiding and hide their tail. And then I decided, you know, I'm not about to sit here, even though I can. I'm not about to sit here and suck these niggas dry for all their little cash. In this for a defamation case. And the only thing that saved them was because majority of this platform were black dudes. And I always had this like punch up, not laterally, you know, type of mentality when it came to using my smarts. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, it's like me in the status that I am in now, and I go towards a homeless person, and I'm trying to just take them for everything that they have. That's how I felt going after my fellow Negroes. They had one little Asian kid on their little group, but the rest of the niggas was black. And so that's literally the only thing that saved them, was the fact that they black. And then I was aware of the fact that one of the niggas, his brother, is also popular in the basketball space. It's a fat nigga. I can't think of his name. Y'all probably know him too, because he always talking about the Lakers and stuff. Can't think of this little fat nigga name from Atlanta. But they daddy had passed and whatnot. And I felt bad. I was like, maybe this little nigga is acting out because daddy gone, you know. On top of the fact that he gave me, like, he was fighting some gay demon vibes. And I won't even lie to you. Dudes that fight gay demon vibes, we clash a lot. I don't know what it is. I won't even hold you. I don't know what it is. But we clash a lot. And them usually the ones that get hit. Them and the womenizers. But I digress. But I ended up not doing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to move on. I don't even have the little niggas blocked. Like, they can still see my stuff. They blocked me temporarily. I don't know if they unblocked me. That's why I said I don't know what they up to now. They honestly they could have just fell off. But these little niggas, they came for me. And I could have played the okie doke, and I was like, nah, bro. I got bigger fish to fry. God gave me this, this knowledge. I'm not gonna use it in that way. They hurting, you know what I'm saying? And to be fair, I kind of antagonized the little nigga when even though I don't think a slander space warranted me saying you needed some hand-on skills. But I was like, you know what, little nigga? I'm going to let you live. I want you to eat. I want you to be prosperous. And I left them alone. And maybe it was the right choice because I haven't wanted for nothing. You know what that scripture says? I haven't seen the Lord's people beg for bread. I'm butchering it right now, but I don't want for nothing. I'm a lender, not a borrower. You hear me? But anyways, so I know how it feels to be defamed. And I know how it feels, when you want to even the playing field and be like, you know what, let me defame you back, nigga. Because I fell for it. Now, not only slandering people, saying some wild stuff, but I will pick you apart. God forbid you don't let me find some flaws visibly. I will roast you. I can't help it. I'm working on it though. So at the end of the day, all have sinned and fell short of God's glory. I think I'm gonna end it here because I've touched on all my little talking points, the exploitation in the community, as y'all see. I wasn't making stuff up when I'm saying, they really incentivize this. Y'all can find this motherfucking link in the bottom, the description. I'm also gonna put the links to defamation, its definition, and the court cases attached to it using the Cornell Law website. It's law.cornell.edu, And if you are looking to gain some knowledge, I encourage y'all to start utilizing Google Scholar, man. Because people be trying to do research and they don't know really where to look. Why am I doing research? Google Scholar. But you can type in just about anything you could think of in here, and it'll give you case laws pertaining to the subject or the keywords that you put in. It'll give you peer-reviewed scholarly articles, which is basically articles written by a bunch of educational students with professors hanging on their coattails, claiming their papers as their own so they can maintain tenure. I still think that junk is wild. I do all this work and you put your name on my paper? The freak? You barely even read my junk. They corrected because that junk had me tight. Because when I went back and looked at my master's thesis, that junk has so many errors in it. I'm like, bro, did you even look at it and proofread it? No, you just put your funky name on it. Anyways, so yeah, you can type in anything. Now, this is my thing because social media attachment. This is something that I have been studying. Oh my goodness. Not even social media attachment. What the freak is it? Social media personalities. Yes. I'm telling you, when y'all look through here, y'all find all types of documents the people are basically diagnosed with some mental disorders that be developing attachments to motherfucking social media people. Like people that, no shade to y'all, but like the people who do the donos, they donate money to them people and they watch their content faithfully and be, you know, in they Discord and stuff. The attachment, according to a lot of these articles, I've found a consensus. The attachment, it's crazy. They said that the attachment is similar to an infant, like a newborn child, being attached to their parents. But y'all, people doing this with strangers, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. You can look up all types of stuff. And then I guess you could consider this kind of a little advertisement. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really no advertising because I ain't getting paid for none of these things. Now, if you like me and you be having some time on your hands and you just want to learn something new because that's what you like to do, there's actually a word for you, but I'm drawing a blank on it. For some reason, my brain is saying demagogue, but I know that's not the word. Because that's actually talking about the people who evoke emotions just to persuade people. So that's not what we talk about. But if you like myself, who just likes to learn new things, I think this will be a good, little thing for you. FreeCodeCamp. It's free. FreeCodeCamp.org. Free, baby. It teaches you all this. Responsive web design, JavaScript, front-end development. And at the end of all of this, it teaches you, it puts you in some quizzes, and then it challenges you. It'll put you and be like, yo, you got to create a project, right? I'll show you one of the things I'm working on. And I'm finished all of this, the ones with the check marks. I'm on my review now. Then I got my quiz. Then I got these little thingies right here. And then, bam, I do my project for my certification. And once you do that project and you do it well, and doing it and doing it and doing it well, you get a certificate. And then you can actually put this on your motherfucking resume, yo. You know what I'm saying? Increase your skill set. This is why I say people need to learn other stuff, especially if you're going to sit at a computer all day. You might as well learn something that you could benefit from. Like, the reason why I started taking on, I found this course. I don't even remember how I stumbled upon this course, honestly. But the reason why I am actively doing it and trying to get certified is because I want to build my own motherfucking website, and I don't want to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for somebody to build it, because the only thing that I will have to pay for is the server that my websites go on. And then you pay a little certain amount, you get server space that you can have ample websites on that one server. And all I got to do is pay one price. And that's the price of the motherfucking server, which is basically storage for my websites. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to pay. And that's probably like a couple $100 one time. Or I think it's like once a year or some trash like that. But it's one time. Once a year, one time, So I thought that was a cool idea. And I figured, I'll share with y'all because it's free. You know what I'm saying? Free. And I think that's it. I'm also going to put these links in there for you too. I guess I'll put Google Scholar, but nigga, just go to Google, type in Google Scholar. But I'll put all these links down there for you so y'all can access all this wonderful jazz. But yes, babies. That's it. So I love you. God bless and peace.